What's up, y'all? You are listening to After Dark Radio. I'm your host, Weezy. Grab a drink, grab a beverage of choice. Stay with me tonight because what I'm about to tell you happened over 2,500 years ago. Somehow, it feels like it could have happened on a July, a couple of years ago. Now, imagine a politician appearing in public, wounded and bloodied, claiming enemies tried to silence him. Public is outraged, they're pissed. Fear spreads, sympathy pours in, and security is increased. Power grows. Now, imagine learning the attack may have been staged from the very beginning. Let that simmer just for a minute. Because we're going way back to the streets of ancient Athens around 560 BC. Now, before your eyes glaze over, stay with me, because this is not a history lesson. This is a mirror. Athens at that time was not the golden city of marble and philosophy you might picture. It was a city in crisis, fractured into factions. The wealthy landowners of the plains on one side, the coastal merchants on another, and then the hills people, the poor, the forgotten, the ones who felt the system had always been designed for somebody else. Sound familiar? Thought it might. And into this divided, anxious, combustible city walked a man named Peisistratus, or Pisistratus. There's variations of how you can say that name, but for the sake of the story, we'll stick with Pisistratus. He was allegedly brilliant, charming, a military hero with real credentials. He'd led Athenian forces to victory. People liked him. More importantly, people trusted him. But liking and trusting a man is not the same as handing him control of a city. And for that, you need something more. You may need a quote-unquote moment. And oh, that moment arrived. One ordinary day in the Athenian agora, the marketplace, the beating heart of the city, Pisistratus appeared. Stumbling, bleeding, his mules allegedly slashed, his body showing the marks of a violent attack. He pointed outward, toward the shadows, toward rivals, toward enemies. He told anyone who would listen that they had tried to kill him, that forces of darkness had come for him in the night because of what he stood for, because of what he represented, because of you, the common people of Athens. The crowd went wild. You have to understand, there is something primal that ignites inside a human being when they believe a champion has been struck down on their behalf. It bypasses reason, floods the chest. It turns grief into rage, and rage into loyalty. The people of Athens didn't stop to ask questions. They felt it, and feeling in politics is everything. Pisistratus made a single modest request. He asked the assembly, the democratic body of Athens, mind you, to grant him a small personal bodyguard, just for protection, just until things calm down. The assembly said, yes. Those bodyguards became an armed force, and that armed force became an instrument of power. And Pisistratus walked into the Acropolis and seized control of Athens, all because of one afternoon in a marketplace, covered in blood that, according to ancient historian Herodotus, he may well have staged himself. Herodotus, the father of history, tells us, almost casually, that the Athenians knew this trick. They'd seen it coming. They said so out loud, and they let it happen anyway. Think about that. A city full of intelligent people, the very civilization that invented democratic debate, watched the man manufacture his own victimhood in real time, and surrendered their city to him regardless. Why? Because knowing something intellectually and feeling something emotionally are two completely different experiences. And the heart, my friends, almost always wins. This is the oldest trick in politics. Not creating an enemy, but convincing people that a boogeyman exists. Convincing them that danger is already at the door, already reaching for the handle, already breathing through the keyhole. Once that fear is real to someone, whether the threat behind it is real or not, they will do extraordinary things to feel safe again. A frightened public often asks fewer questions than a confident one. Now, I try to be a man of nuance, hitting up this microphone. And I'm not pointing any fingers at any living soul tonight, but I will say this with a slow and deliberate smile that you can't see, but you can absolutely, quote unquote, feel. There have been moments in recent memory, cough, cough, July 13, 2024, cough, cough. Dramatic moments, moments involving hopeful men, alleged attackers, oceans of public sympathy, and rather convenient political timing. Moments where the story seemed almost too cinematic, too perfectly staged for maximum emotional impact. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'll let you draw your own lines on your own map. That's not my job tonight. My job is to hand you the compass. That's all. Because here's what history teaches us again and again and again. Crisis is money. real crisis, manufactured crisis, perceived crisis. It doesn't much matter which flavor it comes in. Crisis loosens the grip people have on their own freedoms. It makes them willing to hand power to whoever seems strongest, whoever seems the most wronged, whoever seems most quote-unquote certain in a moment when everything else feels uncertain. Information, emotion, symbolism, and spectacle have always been more persuasive than reasoned debate. Always. The Roman emperors understood it. Medieval kings understood it. Every aspiring strongman who ever wrapped himself in a flag and a wound understood it. The spectacle is the argument. The image is the evidence. And in a world drowning in images, that truth has never been more dangerous. Which brings me to the question I want to leave hovering in the air above you tonight, like smoke that won't quite clear. If a deception this sophisticated could succeed in a city that invented democracy, a city of thinkers, philosophers, and orators who saw it happening with open eyes, what makes us so certain that we are immune today? What makes us think that our screens, our notifications, our 24-hour news cycle has made us quote-unquote sharper rather than simply more saturated? More stimulated, not necessarily more wise. We live in an age of infinite information, and somehow, we seem more confused than ever, more afraid than ever, more willing than ever to grant extraordinary powers to ordinary men who've learned the ancient language of crisis. Human nature does not update its software. It has not patched the vulnerability that Pisistratus exploited in 60 BC. We still rally around perceived victims. We still surrender reason to emotion when the fear is loud enough. We still ask fewer questions when we are afraid, and more questions only after the power has already changed hands, when it's far too late. Pisistratus is long gone. Ancient Athens is dust. But the human mind remains remarkably unchanged. And that is what makes this story worth remembering. This has been After Dark Radio with Weezy. I want y'all to stay curious, stay skeptical, and for the love of everything, stay awake.